Welcome back to the Not That Good Yet podcast. Today's guest is Alex. He's a friend of mine. He has a very interesting journey when it comes to sports. He started out as a track and field athlete, focusing on middle distances, and over time transitioned into long distance training. More recently, he has taken on triathlons, bringing together different disciplines and pushing himself in new ways. We had a great conversation about his experience growing up in the sport and how his mindset evolved over the years. If you'd like to support the podcast, please consider rating it on Spotify or Apple Podcasts and subscribing on YouTube. Thank you so much for listening in. I hope you enjoy.
When I was a kid, I did football like most of the kids at the time. But then at some point I realized that I really like running. And we have briefly talked about this, but I also like watching track and field a lot. So it was always something on my mind, and I at some point I wanted to try. And another guy from my football team, he joined the track and field club from my city, and he was doing really well, and I knew that I run more or less the same pace, so I was like, okay, let me try this. And yeah, I practiced track and field for 5 years.
All right.
5-ish, yeah. Middle distance, so 800, 1500. Oof. Yeah. the hard ones, I don't know why. And yeah.
I see you like pain.
Many people say that, but I don't think so. No. I think I always was on the limit. Like if I could have chosen, probably I would have went down to 400 probably.
Okay.
But my physiology, when I did some tests with the doctors and everything, they told me that actually I had to lose weight, and I was really skinny at the time. I was like 51 kilos, 53 kilos, and they were like, you need to shave some weight, and your ideal event will be the 3,000 steeplechase.
Okay.
And that was too much suffering for me that I didn't enjoy it. So yeah, 800 was my thing.
That's funny because I mean I actually have no idea how they select like your category as kids. Like how do they find what is the best or what is the category they should focus on?
Yeah, I started a little bit later than most people because I started with 14, maybe 14. Yeah, when you're a little bit less than 14, you start by doing everything basically. You just go there every afternoon, evening, and then you just do stuff.
You do jumps and you
just jump around and throw stuff, but not focusing on the technique so much. But then I remember the first day that I joined, it was the first day of like the school, and they asked people around like, who wants to join the middle distance? And I was like so sure I wanted to join the middle distance. I was thinking like, what the fuck? I don't know.
Did you have anyone apart from that friend that that was doing anything similar to that? Because for example, for me, I never had anyone doing running, and I didn't really have a lot of connection with track and field, so I would never even know what I would like.
Yeah.
Like, how did that come for you?
I lived relatively close to the track and field stadium. Track, so it was always that something that I passed by with my father whenever we went with the bikes, or he was running and I was with the bike. We would stop and see the people training, but I didn't know anyone doing track and field. It was just this guy that he was doing 100 meters. Okay. So he was just sprinting. I knew that I could not probably sprint as fast. I was also not the sprinter type. Yeah. But yeah, that was it. That was 5 years.
It's funny how they were saying that you need to lose weight to be a sprinter, because to do shorter distances even, right?
Yeah.
When you watch athletics, you see that the people who are doing sprints are massive, buffed, and the middle distances are not. So that's
exactly.
It's actually quite surprising.
It has to do with like the energy return when you press on the track or something. Like the more mass you can put on the, let's say, a spring load of the Achilles and everything, it works. But
and when you were in peak in competition, I guess, right? How did that look like? And what age exactly were
let's say that my 2 seasons that I was trying to be more competitive, because the first 2 seasons I was like just
building.
building, getting to know. Like I was not in the, let's say, elite or like competition group. But then one of the coaches came one day and she was like, okay, do you want to join? It's very sacrifice, blah, 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 blah. And then I decided to try it. And it looked really different to what it looks like now running. I feel like it has changed a lot, at least the philosophy of how to train.
All right. In what way?
Zones were not a thing. At least for us, we were training a lot. This is like 2014, 2015. And we were training basically on pace and starting to think about HR at the moment. But we were not looking at the zones. So there was not so much at zone 2. We used to warm up a lot.
Okay.
So from 8 to 12 Ks of warm up every day. And then we will do this stuff.
Okay.
So yeah, a week in peak before competition would look like 70 to 90 Ks.
Okay.
So yeah.
Yeah, that in high school.
Yeah.
Oof, okay, 70 to 90 Ks.
Yeah.
Competing most weekends, I would say. No.
Depends on your intentions. Like some people were going to, I don't know, like international meetings and stuff, and they had like different schedules. I was doing mostly like regional meets. I was not going. I wanted to go to the nationals, but then I got injured and everything. But yeah, no. Obviously, when you were training, you had like a little bit of taper, but we didn't even consider the taper thing. It was just like, oh, you're competing this week, then don't exhaust yourself on Thursday, and that was it. Like no carb loading, no nothing.
Yeah.
Well, carb loading for sprints doesn't really make sense.
It's less important. Yeah. Yeah, I feel like I've done a few different sports growing up, and I think the one I've pushed the most was rowing.
Okay.
But I felt like my training was very unstructured.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was just go run or go let's do this this training where you just row for 5 kilometers and you push and it wasn't. I feel like the structure would have given me more motivation to get better. So that's why I was asking, like how did a week look like? You're training every day.
Almost every day. We trained 6 days a week. It was really structured in the sense that we will have Mondays gym session, so we'll like do easy 8K usually, and then training session on the gym. That we had also like an indoor sprint track.
A 200 meter.
No, we had like a 100 meter short straight track next to the gym. So we would do like a set and then 3 sprints. A set and 3 sprints just to try to activate. I don't think people do that anymore. But yeah. And then Tuesdays and Thursdays we did like short and long intervals. Short would be like 200, 150s, 300 at most. Long intervals up to a mile. That was the longest we ever did. And nasty. Like I hated every time we had like mile intervals was the worst.
Yeah, I can imagine.
And then Wednesday was like a little bit easier, maybe like some technique, hurdle technique, and
you're doing like drills, like
skips. We did drills every day. I think that was really nice, but it was like more focused on like a lot of hurdle techniques. Like we just put the hardest one next to another, and we had to like move the leg up and down and stuff.
Do you think that I to the track that I go to, usually the athletics team is training and doing sprints and all these drills, and I wonder for longer distances and for other, I mean not that specific sprinting. Do you think that is helpful or something that, for example, I have no idea if I should think about doing that
I was thinking about it because I really miss those. I don't do those drills anymore. I think they really help to stabilize the hip. So I feel sometimes whenever I go running now, I don't run as much, obviously, in a week. And sometimes feel like my hip gives in a little bit. So I think those exercises to keep the hip up and like be able to mobilize it that way, it helps.
Yeah.
I would say if you need to do some drills, I will just do skips, A skips, B skips. Those are really nice.
All right.
Maybe not the hurdles, but I think they translate.
They translate to form.
Yeah,
mostly.
Yeah, exactly. To be able to maintain that form and be able to keep it up. Maybe for long distance running, it's not as important. Probably you can be okay.
Yeah. I guess that's also a good combination with gym work.
Yeah,
right. It kind of goes alongside, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right. And when you were competing, what were your best times? Like, what are you most proud of?
I would preface this with it's been a long time since then. I had a good 800 time the last year. I couldn't do it in the group meeting because I got injured. But in training, I had a 158 800 meters for 18 years. So that was okay. It wasn't the fastest in my group. I was consistently the last one. But that was a really good.
Great.
Yeah, but that was a good training group and stuff. And yeah, but that's been one time, and I haven't ever been able to repeat that. So yeah.
So you're saying that after that injury, things kind of changed, or?
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah. It was also due to like studies and everything, but I got 2 partial tears in some tendon in my ankle, and yeah, it took some time to recover. Like at first they said 2 months, and then it took like more months. So yeah, I could never get back for that outdoor season, and then I just went into university and I was not as consistent, and I decided to stop. And I guess continuing with my journey, when I came here to Denmark, I tried to go back to track and field again.
All right.
Probably you didn't know that.
I didn't know that, no.
But yeah, after
where did you go train?
Kiev. It's København Sida. It's Foreningen.
Yeah.
If you know the Sparta House Club, it's at the other side in the stadium. Like it's also in Ostrovo. And they are really focused on like track and field, not so much in long distance. And it looked like the style that I was used to, and I joined for season.
Yeah.
But then after I tried to put some more push on my ankle, probably I would have benefited from conditioning before trying to go back at it. But the injury flared a little bit back. So
yeah. But do you think it was related to pushing too much too early, or?
Yeah, 100%, because I didn't do much in the 6 years in between, and then I was trying to go on the spikes.
Yeah. I actually never ran in spikes. How is that?
Never ran in spikes. Okay.
I don't know. I go to the track.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm not in
you're missing out.
But I bet it's so fun. Like I actually feel like I want to get a pair just to try.
Yeah. If you want to try, I can.
You can hook me up.
Yeah. But you definitely feel it. You feel that you go faster. You can maybe go 2 seconds fast a lap or something like that, which is quite a bit. Maybe not so much for our speeds, but when you're
in that level,
but then your calves and your soleum are destroyed the next day
because you have very little amount of foam, right? You're really connected to the floor, and that translates to your leg more, right? But do you feel like with the foams that are now in shoes and like racing shoes and carbon shoes and all that, I don't know, what do you feel like is the difference?
The thing is, I haven't tried carbon shoes yet.
Okay.
I think that's on next for me. But I think you're very forefront with the spikes. Like you cannot really touch with the heel.
The foot is very like the shape
it's actually
is
shaped that way. It's
like a
an
negative how do you say, drop, right?
Yeah, exactly. Your toes are looking up, and it's really stiff. Mine were not carbon at the time, and mine were like middle distance, so you have like a little bit of foam. Like the full sprinter is like complete carbon. There's nothing there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really stiff. I think forget about cushion, forget about any stability. It's just like a solid plate of hard stuff, and then you have 6 nails that you can change also the length depending on what you want to do. But yeah, you should try it out and then see. But think about your calves.
Yeah. Maybe I'll need to go to the gym a little bit before.
Yeah. Definitely not an everyday thing that you can do. But it was fun.
Yeah. What is your favorite track here in the city?
Yeah, I would say
if you
Ostro.
try-
Ostro. I've tried Gentofte, Feiksberg, and I've never been to the one in Amma.
That's where I used to train.
Yeah.
I mean, I lived like very close by at the time, and it's chill because there's not a lot of people.
Mhm.
Sometimes there's a football team playing in the middle, but it only has 3 lanes,
Yeah.
so it feels a bit tight.
Yeah. And how is it like? Can you just show up and like?
Yeah.
Just
You just show up and go. Like that's what I feel sometimes with the Osterbro one, is that I sometimes don't know if because there's sometimes classes going on and I just don't want to be disturbing that, I guess.
Yeah. But even for us, like as a team, we sometimes show up and my former team, Kif, they're like a bit, we are doing this type of training. Can you just step out for a bit? So,
yeah.
But you never had some issues with the one in Amma?
No, only when there's games, because they're like a second division team.
Yeah.
Or first, I don't know. It's a kids
Sunbu,
division.
Yeah. Okay.
The Sunbu, and they play there and they have games. So you kind of need to check flash score. I didn't have flash score for any other reason other than checking if there were games in the tracks, because they really kick you away. But other than that, it's nice. I've also tried Tornbu, closer to the airport.
Yeah.
Because it was, I mean, a biking distance, not super close, but that one is very nice. Okay. And it's almost always empty, and also just open for you to walk in.
I've heard the swimming pool is also really nice, so maybe I need to check it out.
Yes.
Yeah.
But now I usually go actually to Frederiksberg.
Yeah.
It's a nice track. I feel like it's
it's really nice. I've been a couple of times only, but it's quite good.
All right.
Yeah.
And then you came to Copenhagen.
Yeah.
You tried track. Didn't really go,
work.
but then you evolved into other things.
Yeah, I guess it's the usual injured runner pipeline into triathlon. I feel like it's really common. But yeah, I was biking around everywhere. I was biking to work at the time. And I decided to pick up swimming for just keeping up my endurance with a friend. And I was still running on the side. Like I never stopped running as such. But just on my own, like 6K here and there, and that's it. So I was still doing the 3 sports. And at some point I was like, okay, maybe I should try a triathlon. It was always, a distant thought that maybe I should try at some point. And at the time I had a friend that she signed up for a half Ironman. And I was like, okay, I'm not gonna do a half Ironman, but let's see with an Olympic distance first. And I really enjoyed the experience. And then I decided, okay, maybe I join a club and see what I can do.
All right.
So,
I feel like Ironmans are such almost a daunting thing to go for.
Yeah.
And I don't know. An Olympic distance seems to be quite. I don't know. It seems to be a very balanced category.
Yeah.
In my view, because you can be very fast, and it's by far not easy. But it doesn't have the weight of the hours that you need to be in, because an Ironman, the whole thing is just surviving through the end, and all the fueling that you need to kind of practice with, and Yeah, and
Yeah, it's just, I would say it's even a different sport when you consider long distance triathlon and short distance triathlon, because it's not the same effort type, like one where you're basically 1 hour at VO2 max.
Yeah.
And in the other one, you're basically in low tempo the whole day. Right. And yeah, obviously it felt very daunting, half Ironman, or even the name half Ironman sounds like a lot. And yeah, for me, the Olympic is the sweet spot.
Okay.
It's really enjoyable. You don't need to invest a lot of time. You need to invest time, but not a lot of time during the week.
Because you don't need to have the volume, right? As much.
Yeah, no, you can just be okay with, I don't know, 2-3 months of preparation, and you can still be okay.
Yeah. Which one is your favorite of the three? I mean,
yeah.
Right now, because I guess that changes.
Yeah, that will change, I guess. Well, I don't think my favorite will be the Ironman, to be honest. But I've tried sprint distance, which is shorter, the Olympic, and the half Ironman. I would say Olympic is my favorite. I kind of want to crack a good half Ironman and then see. But it's still enjoyable. I don't think the Ironman will be.
Yeah. And out of biking, running, cycling, where do you...
Yeah.
If you had to order them.
Oh, that's a hard question for me. I don't know. I mean, coming back from running, I have to say running and training run, like the run, it's really enjoyable to me. It doesn't feel like a burden to go out for a run. But whenever you arrive to the run in a triathlon, it's never good.
Yeah.
I enjoy swimming. It's I think I'm one of the rare ones that enjoys the swimming part without coming from a swimming background. I would say biking is not my favorite. I enjoy biking as well, but
all right,
yeah.
That's a...
Yeah,
I wasn't expecting that, actually.
Yeah, I enjoy biking as well. It's not that I don't like it, but I think I would enjoy more the other two.
I think for me, I have never really seriously considered doing a triathlon, but I think the swimming would be my weak spot.
You should try. You should try. Yeah, I don't know. But you did a bunch of sports before, you said.
I've done a few things. I started playing tennis, actually, when I was in primary school and some middle school. And then I kind of got a doctor telling me that it was not a very balanced sport because you train a lot on one side, and and then I switched to rowing.
Okay.
And I did that through high school. It was very, very painful experience.
In what way?
Because I think rowing is maybe one of the most complete sports when it comes to using your whole body for an activity. Because running, you use your legs. Cycling the same. Swimming is also quite complete. But rowing, you have to the whole movement is you push the boat with your legs first, and then you use your torso to do the second step, and then your arms, and then your arms.
Yeah.
So it's a full body workout just to do the whole technique. Yeah. And then there's also a technique aspect to it when you're doing it on a boat, because the boats are not the most stable thing. So you really need to also adjust the weights and the height of the paddle, flip it on the right timing. So you kind of also need a hand-eye coordination and cadence to follow if you're in a boat with multiple people. Yeah. So it's really very a lot of things going on. Yeah. And I think I got a lot out of it, more than physically. I think I got a lot of it mentally. Because going out to training camps at 6 a.m. cold, like the boats were frozen. We need to scrape the ice and then go to the water. and really pushing almost every time. At the time, I didn't really have a structured workout either, so it felt very. Every time I went to work out, every time I went to train, it was give all. And that's not fun. Like that's I feel like that actually after a while took my motivation away, because I think I wasn't seeing as much like the results I would like to be seeing, and I felt like I didn't really have a path. Felt like I was just doing random stuff.
Yeah. Were you going to competitions, or it was more like
Yeah, I was competing in Portugal. I went once to Seville to an international competition, but it was mostly national competitions, and I mean we didn't really stand a chance because Lisbon, I don't know if you know, but Lisbon has a big river, especially in the end, and it's not great for rowing. Rowing needs water that's very calm, and there's two types of boats for agitated rivers and boats for very calm and steady waters and lakes. And the competitions are always in this second category, the very light boats. And in Lisbon, you practice with the heavy boats. So we were always in a disadvantage because all the other teams in the north of the country have great rivers and lakes that they practice all the time. Yeah. So we went there and we just get our butts kicked.
But it's still competition.
It's still like competition. It was fun to like go with, your friends, and you just go on a bus and you just go somewhere, compete, or have a training camp, spend like 5 days camping, and
just it's also a nice feeling. I feel like I miss sometimes the feeling of like team sport, competition.
You were saying you joined the team for this triathlon here in Copenhagen.
Yeah, that's right. Koteko, KTK 86. It's a fairly big team. We're 180. We don't train all of them together. There's like an elite side and like amateur. Yeah. But but I would say it's not the same. Like you don't
have the connection.
I mean, you go, and before you are just talking with them and stuff like that, but it's not like a team effort. I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah. I feel like with running for me has been quite lonely. But because I enjoy it, not because it's because I just started doing it, and I actually like it's a time for me to like air out, and it's nice. But I don't know, more and more I've been thinking of joining some team. I don't know about run clubs, but like a team to have other people that are trying to like at least being on a similar level than mine, especially for like track workouts. Because I mean, for easy runs, it's fun to have some company, but I think for track, when you're doing certain intervals and you're struggling, even for example having my girlfriend on the track next to me and just supporting, even if she's not running that day, it's completely different.
A bit of accountability to
almost that.
But I do the same. Like whenever I run the long rides or long runs, I go on my own. And whenever it's intervals, I either join the team or I do it on my own. But it helps a lot. And whenever I do the intervals with them, it's always a little bit faster. It helps.
If you want to talk a little bit about your race.
Yeah, sure.
And your preparation. Like how did that look?
I did. I guess you're referring to the half Ironman that I did a month ago. A bit more than a month ago. It was in Valencia, my hometown. It was really nice because I swam in the beach that I grew up in, and then on the bike you pass by my house in the mountain.
That's so nice.
So it was like everywhere was like home to me. And when I was in the track and field team, we used to train where the running was taking place. So it was really nice in that sense. But yeah, it's no secret that here in Denmark we don't have the most similar weather to Spain.
Yeah.
Especially being early, like it was mid-April, and here we had a long winter.
Yeah.
So it was quite hard to train outside until, I would say, late February, maybe.
Yeah.
I feel like I put a good training block coming into it, but the thing is I got sick 3 weeks before.
Oh, yeah.
Which is like an odd time.
Yeah, forced taper.
Yeah, it's forced taper, but it's also like 3 weeks taper for I don't know, in triathlon we don't do as long tapers.
Okay.
I feel like.
'Cause I feel like for marathons and halves, and it's usually around 2 weeks.
Yeah, but I've heard like people even doing 3-week tapers for a marathon, right?
Yeah.
Like maybe 17 days or something like that. I think for triathlon we do 1 week or something. I don't know.
You just send it. Yeah.
Yeah, send it. It's like, swimming, you can still swim. Like you just swim as normal, and then maybe reduce to 60% on the bike. Don't do intervals that week, and that's it.
All right.
So yeah, it was a bit forced taper, a little bit weird. I had fever for a couple of days, and then my nose was stuffed.
Yeah.
Until the week before or something. So not the best lead out to the race. Yeah, it was a nice race. It wasn't bad, but on the bike I wasn't feeling great. My HR was spiking a little bit the week before, and my legs were a bit stiff.
Yeah.
Still happy with the performance. There was that course I was really looking forward, because I'm a bit lighter than most of the guys, and there's quite a high climb at the beginning. We have the first 30 kilometers, you go up to 500 meters of elevation, and then you go down. So I was hoping to get some positions, which I did on the climb. I overtook a lot of people, and then on the way down, everyone overtook me because I was not sending it, to be honest, on the downhill. And then I was a little bit scared about the run, and my legs were not responding too much, so my power was a little bit lower than it should be, but it was still around 170 watts. I don't know if that sounds like anything to you, but yeah, I was aiming to 180, 195 or something.
Okay.
And but still happy with the time. Maybe 10 minutes off my PB for the 90k, considering that I had more elevation. I was pretty happy. And then the run, I started quite okay. It was hot, but it was like to be expected. And after 5k, I was on point. I was 450, and I said to go out 450 and then increase a little bit. And then after the second aid station, I drank some water, and my stomach wanted to...
Had things.
Yeah, it wanted to dance the Macarena or something. It started like going upside down and like inside out, and it was really fun because I had people on the sidelines, right? Like my family and friends, and I was really not in a good place, and I was like, okay, I need to stop. I need to walk for a bit. And I saw that there was a stretch with not too many people on the sides, and there was some bushes, and I was like, okay, I walk here. And then as soon as I stop, I see I hear someone telling me, "Vamos, Alejandro." And then I look around, and it's my uncle and my aunt, and they were like in between the bushes for some reason, and I was like, no.
Don't do this to me.
And they took the worst picture ever, because I was like hunch and like my hands on the hips, like completely. I was not in a good place. But yeah, at that point I thought that I will not make it, because it was like 16k left, and I could not run, basically. So I walked for a kilometer or so, less than a kilometer, and I tried to like walk till the end, and it was really rough until kilometer, I would say 10, and then it got a little bit better. But a 2-hour half marathon, not the best.
I mean, I feel like it's a learning, or at least that's how I try to look at my races. I mean, we just did the Royal Run
Right.
the other day.
Yeah.
And I mean,
It was also very warm.
it was so warm
Yeah.
that sometimes you just cannot plan. Like the day will set what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Like sometimes you just have to assume that you have not a lot of control, and you just have to go and do what you can.
Yeah. How did you? How was it first?
It was okay. Like the time was not terrible, but I thought since last time I did a 10K, I thought I could PB at least. But yeah, I was kind of kicked in the face on that one. No, I started at pace, at a pace that I thought, okay, this should feel comfortable.
I'm
a little
curious.
bit lower than my half marathon pace.
Okay.
And this should feel comfortable. And the first 2 kilometers were not really feeling comfortable.
Okay.
It was like feeling very warm. And then at some point in the race, I thought I was already farther than I actually was. And I was like, oh, okay, I'm already, a bit after halfway.
Yeah.
I'm going to start pushing a little bit. And then when I saw the kilometer mark, it was like 5K. And I'm like, oh, damn. Like I started pushing way too early. And then, I mean, at the kilometer 8, I just ran a bit out of juice.
Oh, okay.
And it was also, I don't know, it was also very warm. And also, yeah, here in Denmark, you're just training in sub 10 degrees or training through winter and very cold. And then you get the first day of 20 something degrees and it just feels horrible. So
it's hell on earth here. Yeah. It's also very humid usually. So,
but I mean, it was fine. It was not my A race, so it was also like low stakes.
Yeah,
it was just
fun.
For fun, but yeah, it was a learning, I guess.
What do you tell yourself when you're in that situation that you, for example, you realize that you were pushing too early? Like, do you try to gaslight yourself, or do you try to, I don't know?
I mean, this time was different because usually I feel like I'm feeling comfortable, and then when I'm like a third to the end, I feel like, okay, it should feel hard, but I should still push. I can still push.
Yeah.
But this time I was like halfway and I'm like, this is not good. I was like the first few kilometers, this pace maybe feels a little bit too fast.
Yeah.
But it's also experience, because if now I know that if it feels like this in the beginning of a 10K, independently of the temperature, independently of the pace, like if it feels like that, it shouldn't feel like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think that was kind of a nice realization from this race. Was that, I mean, I think through experience you kind of understand in the beginning of the race it should feel quite easy. And it wasn't really that day. But I didn't really listen to myself much. I just, okay, I have this pace, I'll go this pace and then see.
You didn't adapt. You were like, okay, we're doing this today. Yeah. Can I say that I've listened to the other episodes and I disagree a little bit with I do also split my runs in thirds.
Yeah.
I do the same. But for me, usually the first third, it's harder than the second third.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't know why, but it's like usually, and I'm talking about long runs, not on competition. Because just to preface, like I haven't done like road races as such. I haven't done a 10K on the road as such. I've only done it as part of a triathlon, and it's a little bit different when you run off the bike.
Yeah.
But I would say like it takes me some time to get into the rhythm, and I feel like after 7K-ish on a long run, I get like a newfound energy. I don't know, like from 7 to 14K is usually like a walk in the park, I would say.
All right.
Not a walk in the park, but it feels nicer than the first case, I would say.
So you take a while to kind of warm up into it. And
yeah, I think so.
But do you think that's more mentally or more physically? Like, do you feel your body, tired, or is it...
It might be a little bit of a feedback loop. Like
Okay.
maybe I feel like my heart rate is going a little bit high up too much, and then I'm like, oh, maybe today I'm not gonna feel super great, and then I'm trying to like, I don't know. It's always like hard for me to get into the rhythm, and maybe I'm like too overthinking about the pace that I should be doing, or if it feels too hard for a song to run or whatever. And I guess at some point my mind wanders and thinks about other stuff, and then after a while I'll check my watch and I'm like, okay, it's 9K. I feel like I'm better than before, and then I'm flowing.
Yeah.
And then I agree with you that the last third it's always pain house. But yeah.
Oh, that's funny. Because for me, I feel like it also depends. This race, I don't know, for some reason, I think it was maybe because it was very warm, and this past weekend I've also have been sightseeing in town because I had some visits, and we were just walking kilometers and kilometers and sleeping ish.
Yeah.
And it was very hot, so I was like, I'm a bit worried about this race. Even before I started, I was like a bit nervous about it, which usually is not really the case. I'm usually going to a race very excited, very ready. But yeah, the beginning for me, usually it's a very, I don't know, everyone's starting to run, and you're kind of thinking like, what are you going to strategize and do? Like that excitement, maybe that keeps me going in that beginning.
No, 100%. The adrenaline kick is real. That's also true. Like whenever you start running on a race, you feel like you have 10 seconds more a kilometer.
You need to be careful there. How did that how are your mental tricks for the different things you've done? Because I imagine that the mental of a half Ironman is extremely different from 800.
Yeah. Oh yeah, 100%.
Completely different.
Yeah.
How do you approach both?
Okay, I've never compared the both. It's been a while, but I would say the 800. You had to be a little bit in the zone. Like before that, like in the, how do you even say it in English? Like in the cold room, I think it's called. Like when you're like on the sideline. But you're like, okay, now we're gonna go, and like adrenaline is pumping, it's crazy, and then you're like, okay, let's do it. You got this, like hyping yourself up a little bit. And 800, it's a little bit tactical. That's what I like it as well, because you cannot go all out for the 800. So you need to think, okay, my plan is this. I'm gonna go push. Usually my plan was like push the first 100, chill for a lap, chill.
Yeah,
maybe like 2 seconds slower or something. Chill for a lap, and then hold on to the back straight, push when there's 150 left. That was my usual stuff. But then you also say, okay, there's this guy next to me, so he likes to like push from the start, so I'm gonna try to stay behind or something. I don't know, like try to
play with it,
play with the tactics and see what will happen. Like you cannot really think too much while you're running, and so you're like, okay, if this happens I will do this, if this happens I will do that. And I would say for a half Ironman that would be a little bit different. I would say like, okay, you're calm, stick to this, don't go too hard maybe in the first part of the swim, just get your breathing under control, don't get into like too high up of a heartbeat, and then try to find someone that you can draft on the swim that's really good.
Are you allowed to draft on the swim?
Yeah.
Because on the bike I know you
exactly you have
penalizations
exactly, but on the swim it's just like you just go in waves and do whatever you want. And there's kicks, there's elbows in the face, and like if you can find some fast feet that you can follow, you get, I don't know, 20% less effort. That's really good. So it's calming myself before going into the race, and then also knowing, okay, you've done the work, stick to the plan, listen to your body a little bit, and probably mental tricks start on the run. And
Do you feel like those tricks only are needed on the run, or
The thing is, like, I haven't been able to do a good run so far, so
Okay.
I had to like resort to these mental tricks of like, okay, you're there, and don't think about. I try not to think what's to come. I
Yeah.
try to think what I've done already. So I'm like, okay, you've done 1/3 of the way. You're
Yeah.
good. You're feeling good. Yeah, you're done. You have done a half of the half, like
Yeah.
10K, and you're good.
You
Blah,
kind
blah,
of
blah.
split it
Exactly.
some ways too. Yeah.
And sometimes I gaslight myself into like, okay, 10K, you're good, and then it's 11K, and I say myself, okay, 10K, you're good, like trying to just
Yeah.
lie to myself and say, okay, you still have 5K, and maybe I have 3 left or something, just to like.
Yeah.
And then whenever you have 1 left, you say, oh, it's only left 1 left. Let's
Yeah,
go.
that will do. That will solve itself soon.
Yeah, but for example, in this last race, I suffered a lot throughout. Like in the bike, I was never super comfortable. I was like
Yeah.
not feeling the greatest. The run was
Yeah. Yeah.
not the best. And yeah, I suffered a lot. And some people say, oh, triathlon is about suffering, and Ironman it's about suffering. And I would say, if I knew beforehand that the next race would be like that, probably I wouldn't go into it. I want to enjoy the race. And part to it is suffering a little bit, but also, for example, the first race that I did last year, first half Ironman, I really enjoyed it. Like on the bike, I was enjoying myself, and I enjoyed the run for the most part. But I had to walk a little bit, but not as much in Valencia. And I had a good 14K, for example.
Yeah.
And that was a little bit more of a mental barrier because I wanted to do a time. And then I heard the finish line speaker saying a time, and I knew that I have 7 kilometers left. And I was like, okay, if I keep going at this pace, I might miss it out for 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And I didn't have it in me to push for faster. So I kind of dipped mentally a little bit, and then it was harder.
Yeah.
But I still enjoyed the racing.
Yeah,
I was not feeling awful. So
Yeah, I think race strategy, it kind of defines and going on effort. I feel like that's my latest realization, but it really can make or break whether you enjoy it or not, because you can even run the same time.
Yeah.
Usually not, but if you start super fast and then you blow up, it's gonna be painful.
Yeah.
It's gonna be painful. And I mean, this race, this 10K, showed me that I haven't been in that place for a while, and I think it's good to be in that place sometimes, just for you to calm down a little bit. And but I mean, I did a half marathon 2 months ago that it was just a slight negative split. I knew very well where I was training wise, so it was quite easy to translate my training into a time. And it was also perfect conditions, no wind, 10 degrees, flat. So there was a lot of variables that just checked out. I was feeling good. And then I could execute on what I planned, and it worked out, and it was just amazing. It felt great.
Yeah. Can I ask, like, I've checked your Strava from time to time. We follow each other. So you are really consistent, but I don't think you run too much at tempo, right? Like you do intervals.
Yeah, actually that's
but
true.
you don't run at tempo. Like, do you run by feel on competition day? Like, for example, in the Prague half, like, did you wanted to stick to some pace, or would you stick to effort?
Yeah. So how I mean, I have a coach, and that's the training I usually get. What you've seen, which is mostly zone 2, 40 minutes, 45 minutes, and then usually a long run. If I'm training for a half, it's usually 15, 20, 25 or something. I expect that to go higher once I'm preparing for the marathon. Now I'm actually not doing many long runs because I'm just trying to get faster in shorter speeds. and doing maybe 1 to 2 interval sessions a week, and then easy runs. So that's kind of my my training, but that's because it's just the training philosophy, I guess.
Yeah.
It's very focused on the intervals, and then I have just easy and long. I don't really do tempos. But I think that's gonna change once I go into longer distances, because I'm gonna have to first run more kilometers, increase the mileage, and probably do long runs with some tempo in the mix as well. But yeah, I actually don't have a lot of experience with it. But why do you?
Because I was curious, because I feel like now that I was trying to compare from track and field to triathlon. Obviously, for long distance triathlon, you are a lot of time in low tempo, high zone 2. Yeah. Because you cannot be 13 hours on 13 hours. You're like 10 hours in zone 4. Yeah. So sometimes, whenever I'm in those zones of like high tempo, low threshold, I get anxious that I should not be in here, right? Like maybe I'm suffering exactly. I'm suffering too much or something. So I need to, I'm not used to the feeling of being in high tempo or something for a while. So it feels hard for me during a race to manage by feel if I'm like overcooking myself, if I've never trained on tempo. I try to run at tempo sometimes. I know that it's like this gray zone and you're not supposed to gain. But for me, it's more like gaining a feeling of what should feel
being
like. Being
comfortable in that state.
Like, and learning that I can feel like this amount of pain and I should be fine doing, I don't know, 10K at this level or something.
But I guess for me, that is race experience. I prefer just to do it in a race and trust the process. It's something I feel like I've learned from the beginning. I think when I started training, I was very lucky that I started being coached right away. So I started, every suggestion that I got was the right one most of the times. And even and if, for example, I did more kilometers than I should, I would get a little niggle and a little injury thing. So don't do that. Or every time we did a race and we said, okay, let's try to do this pace or this kind of effort, and I would go out too fast and not follow that, I would really struggle. So after, not that long, I was just like, okay, I'm just going to blindly trust the process. Yeah. And I think Inge Brixen went on a podcast not that long ago, and he was talking about that. He was saying that he sees training like growing a carrot, where you don't see it. You don't see what's going on, but you still need to water it and you still need to care for it. And then in race days, when you pull it and see what's there.
Yeah, exactly.
Because if you pull it earlier,
you don't see it.
You see earlier, but you're not. That day was not a training that contributed as much as it could for the race. So if you do that more often, you see less results in the long term.
100%.
Which is maybe also the way I look at it. And I mean, I also, you have to have an element of trust in whoever is guiding you to support that. And from my experience, it usually translates quite well. I think one of the main indicators that I find is when I'm doing track sessions, and there are some interval sessions that are very closely linked with race performance. For example, 7 times 1,000. Yeah, it's kind of known that if you can do that at a specific pace, that's your 5K pace, or you can hold a few more seconds per kilometer on a 10K.
10K,
and if you can do, I don't know, 15 times, 20 times 400s, and achieve that workout. And usually it also depends on your field, because you might be finishing that workout in exactly the splits, but you could not give another one. And you can finish thinking, I could give 3 more.
I had some more, yeah.
And I think that these are the nuances. So maybe you can achieve the paces, but that might not translate. I usually find that some of these interval sessions, like 15 400s or 7 times 1,000, usually when I can do them and still have maybe 1 or 2 reps in front of me, that usually shows more or less my pace.
Yeah.
And then from a 5K, you kind of derive a 10. And from a 10, if you have the right volume, you can maybe derive a half. And then marathons, I'm still to figure out. I haven't.
I'm in the same boat there. Yeah. I just know the theory, and it will somehow happen. But yeah.
But that's how it was for Prague. Because I had a few good training sessions and interval sessions in the weeks leading up in peak. And with the volume, it was possible. And then it's kind of like this calculation shows what you have in on a perfect day. But it's not guaranteed that you can,
will have the perfect day. Yeah.
And there's so many variables that's...
Yeah. It is true. But at least with the lead up to the half, with the long runs, you did more than 21, right? At some point.
Yeah.
With the marathon, it's not gonna be like that, right?
No,
we never do 42.
No, and I think that tempo, that logic, I like that with the long runs. For example, doing a 26K before the half, even though I've done a few halves in the past, but it makes the distance achievable.
Yeah, exactly.
Because someone who starts running now and has never ran a 5K is daunting.
Yeah.
But I guess for us who run often, 5K, like you go out and you do 7 on almost every day.
And it's like, I can do another.
And I remember for me, 10K at some point was daunting, and now it's like I do it quite often.
Yeah.
But 26 for me still is quite daunting.
Yeah.
And even 30 something, 40 something, it's something that is, I'm not, super comfortable. I don't know how it feels. I don't know how I react. I don't know how my mental will go. And that's, I'm curious to see.
When do you have plans for a full marathon?
Yeah, I have the Amsterdam in October. Amsterdam marathon in October.
Nice.
Which... I don't know. I'm excited about. Let's see how that goes.
Yeah. You still have some good 4 months?
Yeah.
Block.
I think I'll start the block in beginning of summer. July, something like that. Start building up.
Nice.
Yeah. Do you have any races coming up?
Yeah. I have an Olympic distance in 2 weeks. 2 weeks? 3 weeks.
All right.
And the week after, I have a half Ironman here in Helsinki.
All right.
Yeah. So that's the next plan, and a first full Ironman in August.
In Copenhagen?
Yep.
All right.
I'm really scared. Because, as you said, half for you, half marathons. For me, half Ironmans we have done.
Yeah.
You know the distance, you know what it is. It can have been good ones, bad ones, but you more or less know the distance, and it's okay. But
yeah,
the first full one is like, let's see. But those are the plans. So I should increase volume now.
Yeah. That's a lot of volume. How do you split? Do you split it evenly with the training time? I guess the bike always takes a bit longer, right?
Bikes takes more, and it's known that if you spend more time on the bike, you will be faster, and it's the most time you spend. Over an half Ironman or Ironman, you spend almost half of the time in the bike.
Yeah.
So you have a lot of gains to get there. The run can make it or break it. If you do it correctly, you can gain some time. If you miss it, you will get a lot of like bad time.
Yeah.
Swim for me is just like get done with it and not be exhausted by the end of it.
You also, I mean, you like it, so it's it's a pro.
It is true, but it's like I will never see myself gaining time on the swim.
Yeah.
Because I don't come from a swimming background, so it's not that I can gain time.
Yeah.
Probably, and I say probably because in the last couple of weeks I haven't been super consistent with motivation and everything, but usually it feels like 7 to 9k swim, which should be 2 hours and a half, 3 hours. On a high week for a half Ironman, that should be like 12-hour week.
Yeah.
So 3 hour swim, 3 to 4 hour run, and then 6 hour bike.
Yeah.
Or maybe 5 and 1 hour gym or something like that. That would be the split. But for me, it varies from week to week. Maybe 1 week is more heavy on the run if I want to do like some key sessions there, and then maybe the next week I do 3 outside bike now with the good weather. So maybe it's 7 hours, 8 hours bike or something. So
yeah. I feel like, I don't know, for Ironmans it's such a compromise with, you have to spend so much time. I mean, if you run consistently and long distances, you also need to spend almost that time just running. But how do you also manage the food and the fueling part, and because you really need to practice that side, and it really adds up in the end.
Yeah, I go broke every month with groceries. All the bike sessions are fueled. Some other people in the podcast has mentioned before. I really need to be better at training during the run. Like long runs, I fuel the sessions. Usually, interval sessions I don't, and I probably should, with intensity and like being able to get it down sometimes.
Do you think that for the gut only?
Yeah.
Or do you think there's benefits of? Because I've questioned myself that I've seen people fueling like before a track session.
Yeah.
And I actually, I'm from a place that I'll use what I have to, in terms of fueling.
Yeah.
Because I also want to adapt my body to, consume fat, be aerobic.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's also from my experience, I need to fuel a little bit to sustain things.
Yeah. I think you touched upon it on the second episode, but like it's not so much about the specific session that you're doing. Maybe if you want to train your aerobic capacity or your fat burning capabilities, you can do it fasted or like on the morning and everything. But there's also an aspect of, if I fuel this session, my glycogen stores, like my muscle carb or like energy, would not get as depleted. So maybe tomorrow I can do also another key session, right? It's not that much of I need to fuel for this session, but how fast I will recover for the next one. So sometimes I think about that. If, for example, I'm doing a run on a Friday, and usually my Saturdays are like key sessions, I have like swim and running intervals. I probably on Friday I fuel it just for me to feel okay on the next day.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a whole thing, the fueling for an Ironman as well, because it's like you don't want to run out of energy, but also if you overdo it, then you're. So yeah, it's a balance.
It's a balance.
Yeah, and then feeling extremely hungry for the rest of the week.
Yeah, I share that.
Some days, like for example on Saturdays, that we do 5k swim and intervals. Maybe it can be like 2k or something like that. You end up on a 4.5 thousand calorie day, and it's like you're in deficit for the whole weekend, and you feel like you're moody. You wanna eat whatever moves, and it's too bad. But yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me. It's great.